So here's another really neat feature about the Chinese language. We've got a verbal question mark, which is just like saying a question mark out loud. So you'd be like saying a statement like, Felix likes me, question mark. Does Felix like me? So it's quite complex actually how we make questions in English and many other Western languages, but in Chinese and many other Asian languages actually, because I've been around a few here, we would just have a question mark particle or just simply a word, and we'd put that at the end of a sentence and we would make that into a question like that. Fantastic. So now that we know how it works, let's learn how to say it as well. It's simply ma, as we can see there, and it's pronounced like ma, so it looks like that, but that's not super important. What we're focusing on is the pinyin, the MA part here, and then the meaning is simply a verbal question mark, we can call it. So whatever you can think of, add a ma at the end and you're good to go actually. For instance, if you go, is that Felix? You would just say Felix and then add a ma, and that would be, is that Felix? Or an existential question, am I Felix? Felix ma.
Felix ma. Felix.
Yeah, so basically we can add ma anywhere. And one very good place would be after how, that we've recently learned as well. How meaning good. And then we can say how ma, as in the answer would be okay or good. And the question would be, is it good or is it okay? So how ma, we would answer with how. How ma, how. Fantastic.
好吗？不好 ，No baby， 我们去医院吧，快点。
Now we can even use ma together with ni hao and say ni hao ma. So it could sound like you walk around and say hello question mark, but that's not actually it. If we break this down now, character for character, it's ni, you, hao, good, question mark. Are you good simply, or more loosely translated to how are you? So now we actually know the way to say hello, but also how are you? And note how they are interconnected as well. It would be ni hao and then ni hao ma. So now you're actually ready for a full-on conversation. You can say wei, and then you go with ni hao, hello. And then that person would answer with a ni hao back. And then you would ask ni hao ma, how are you? Hopefully that person says how. And then he asks you back, ni hao ma, and you say how back, and then you just say bye bye, bye bye. 你好，
你好，
你好，你好吗？
好，你好吗？
哦，好，好，
好，
拜拜啊，
拜拜，拜拜，
拜拜。So you see, there we go. It sounds like a rigid and quite a textbook type of sentence. And you could argue that it is, but it's also very, very common. It's the most common one, and thereby it's also the most useful sentence you'll ever learn in Chinese. Or dialogue, I guess. Wonderful. I hope you enjoyed that video thoroughly.